Gamesthetic, episode 124. I'm Alex Live Spark 3. Hope you're having an incredible day, whether if you're watching live alongside or listening to it after the fact. We appreciate the hell of you. No Zach this week. Zach, he's got some stuff pop up with work. That's why AniMan Plus didn't happen this week. But we do have John. John, how you doing? How we feeling?
Hello. I'm doing all right.
We got some stuff to ramble about.
Yeah. This I feel like it's gonna be more like a me and Zach episode, where we just find something we latch on to it and ramble for a while.
Yes, that is 100% going to be today's episode. You know, as much as I would love to have Zach here, you know, in a weird way, it kind of works out that he was unable to make, because it just allows me and you to completely ramble about Dragon Ball Z with the big announcement that happened this week. Because I believe Zach's played those games, but I don't think he's near as big into them as me and you.
Scrolling through Discord, trying to find the server in here. My Discord wasn't loading, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, what the hell's happening? I scrolled, the bottom half of my screen just wasn't loading any of the channels.
Yeah, I've been there. But yeah, we're going to ramble on about the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi announcement, which is insane, popped out of nowhere. It's been 17 years.
We've also said multiple times, we've brought up the fact that would they make another Xenoverse or a Tenkaichi? We're like, they're never making a fucking Tenkaichi game.
Yeah, I know. And then look what happened. Just a massive announcement. So we're going to ramble on about that. Kind of give what would be kind of our wish list for it, and realistic expectations as well. We do have Suicide Squad being delayed with an unspecified date. To chat about that. Starfield getting its official release date, which is considered a delay because
official.
Yeah, official, correct. You know, it's now release date of in September, but that is considered a delay as well, as it's supposed to come out in the first half. So we'll chat about that, an update on Microsoft and Sony as well. And that's about the gist of what we'll ramble on. It might be a shorter show today, but that's okay. But if you could, first and foremost, check out some Rogue Energy, link down in the description below. We definitely appreciate extra support. Pick up the new hydration flavors, Rainbow Candy and Strawberry Bubblegum. Promo code Sparky to get you 10% off. You can also join the Discord channel down below and chat with us, and go check out Agent Inc. as well. Let me go ahead and turn down the music. Switch to both cams. That is not set to John, but that's okay. I'll fix it on the fly. Yeah, the big announcement of Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, that really did come out of nowhere.
I think that's what I said when you sent me that text. I was just like, well, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, it did 100%. You know, because like I said, it's been 17 years. You know, like Budokai Tenkaichi, that franchise has been so long left behind. You know what I mean? And the fact that we got this big announcement, you know, which was a pretty sweet little trailer, really brought you down through nostalgia lane. You know, going through the you know, just different segments of the games of the portion of Dragon Ball Z story, even up with a quick shot of Super Saiyan 4 Goku for the GT side of things, all to this very beautiful looking, you know, transition from, you know, that version of that graphic style of Goku to a obviously modern style going Super Saiyan Blue. Obviously we knew this would be heavy Super focused, and you know, Super will be involved in this, obviously, everyone in the world knew that. But you know, we like you mentioned earlier, we've been questioning for so long, will they ever do a Xenoverse 3, you know, or another one of these? And we're like, nah, that's not happening. They'll do another Fighters or another something like Kakarot.
We know another Fighters is coming.
Yeah.
We know something like Kakarot, they could expand upon that again. We assume a Xenoverse will be on the way. It's just a matter of if Xenoverse 2 ever stops making fucking money.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
It's like there's always new DLC. Anytime anything Dragon Ball comes out, a new DLC drops.
True. And also, speaking of just DLC dropping, I wasn't here whenever you guys shout this out in the weekly wrap up, but shout out to the fact that for the Kakarot DLC, they're going to some Dragon Ball content for the new DLC, 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, the one focusing at the last arc of original Dragon Ball. So Goku versus Piccolo. I thought that was pretty cool whenever I saw that announcement. It was
Seems like a weird DLC to add
It
after going through all the Super content.
Technically, they didn't go through Super content, because you remember those movies were Z movies. So all the content they've done,
well, even
is
still,
all
it's
Z stuff.
Yeah, but just the escalation in power that they go through, and then they're going back to Dragon Ball.
Now, okay, that's fair.
That's where my head was at.
That's fair.
I'm like, yeah, it's cool to see, but
Yeah.
realistically,
Yeah, that is totally fair. I just like this fact that the Dragon Ball is getting some recognition there, so that's pretty sweet. But no, like seriously, Budokai Tenkaichi, like the fact that like this erupted on the internet to the way that it did, really shows how much of an impact those games had, as us as fans, because like there were so many channels reacting to this, like the eruption for this. It's like, oh my God, it's finally happening. It's finally here, was insane. Again, it's been like 17 years. I think like 2007 or so was when 3 came out.
yeah, it's kind of got me wanting to bust out my PS2
Mhm.
and actually jump on it because relatively recently I picked up a Budokai Tenkaichi 2,
Yeah, see, me
which
too.
is which
Me
is
too.
my preferred of those because two, Budokai Tenkaichi 2 better story focus,
Yes.
Tenkaichi 3 unbelievable amount of characters in the game.
Correct.
That's the draw for those two games.
Correct.
But Tenkaichi 2 also still massive character list. Just there has like 100 and something less than 3.
Yeah. No, 3 has an unbelievable amount. And like he said, like basically when it came to those two games, you bust out 3 if the friends were coming over. You bust out 2 if it was just you playing.
You bust out 2 when you want to sit down and just enjoy it by yourself.
Yes. I will say that with that announcement, it's made me have the itch for a Dragon Ball game, and I finally have sat down and really dove into Kakarot now. I'm really enjoying it.
Have you?
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it, honestly.
I'm thinking my initial reaction to that game has been the same. The more I think back on it, I think it's the same reaction I've had to most of the games that have come out this year that I was excited for. I'm just not in the mood for them right now.
Yeah.
I'm not in the mood for that type of game.
So yeah, I'm in the mood for it. Thanks. I'm in the mood for.
I'm in the mood for a very specific type of game right now. So
Right.
I'm living in the past.
The busting out the PS2.
It's like it's like the only like modern game I'm playing some right now is Rocket League. Other than that, I'm playing. It's like I'm looking at my PS2. I'm playing old PC games. I'm not about this the new age games or the current gen games right now.
Right.
But yeah, I will say I probably will end up busting out Tenkaichi 2 probably tomorrow for a little bit. See, but I remember trying to jump back into it. Man, you got to get used to it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it plays very differently
Yes.
than anything we're used to.
Yes, correct. It is a massive step back in time. I want to get my hands on 3, just for shits,
It's
but
so
it's so
expensive.
expensive. It's cheaper to buy the Wii version.
Yeah.
But I would like to get it on PS2 because obviously it's the more rare version of the game.
Yeah. I would prefer to have it there too. If I see it,
I'm just glad I got 2. 2 is one of my favorite Dragon Ball games of all time.
yeah. So kind of looking towards this new game. Obviously, it's in the art style of it is more of along the lines of say fighters.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's very close to that art style. Where do you think we're kind of going with this?
Man, I've been racking my brain all week where it's just like because of how much this title means to the community, right? Are they just going to like half-ass this or are they going to go all out? And that's what I've been trying to figure out. Because like in terms of general direction, obviously I think there's going to be a large focus on Z and then just Super.
Yeah,
so
I was
my
gonna
question
say,
is, where does Dragon Ball and GT fall in this?
No, cut Dragon Ball out.
I want Dragon Ball in.
We don't need it.
I want it.
We don't need it.
I want it.
Even when it's in there, it's a short play period.
I love it.
Every time that we go through it, it's like you play it once and then you go back and play it to unlock the characters if you didn't get them originally, and then you move on.
Well, do you want GT in there?
Yeah.
Then we gotta have Dragon Ball.
We
Come on.
don't have to.
Yeah, we gotta have it, man.
You know why we need GT in there?
Super Saiyan 4.
We need Super Saiyan 4.
I know we do.
It's like that's why we need GT. It's like everything in it, like all the story and everything with it itself. I'm okay with that being a very condensed down version.
That's fair.
As long
We
as
just need the
as long
characters.
as we hit the high points and we get the character unlocks, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would. The problem is
See, when I made the statement of like, all out or not, my question is, are they going to match the same sort of like roster size as 3 and expand on it better, or if it's going to be more condensed? You know what I mean? Like that's where my questions are.
I mean,
Because to this day, 3 is still the largest roster.
it's gonna be large, and the reason I say it's gonna be large is we're going through Super,
Yeah.
and everything it's like everyone throughout Super. It's like if they're, you can only assume they're gonna give it the time, and they're gonna make it for the people that have been wanting it.
Yeah.
Which means they're looking at Super, in every arc, every fight, everything through it, their eyes are just going new, additional character, additional character, additional character.
True.
Which, I mean, a lot of them wouldn't be that big of a deal for me personally, but I would like to see them kind of go all out with it. Now, if we're talking character versus story wise, I mean, honestly, I'll take better missions, better gameplay, and like more care shown to it than an overblown character list any day of the week.
I would too. I don't want to repeat what Budokai Tenkaichi 3 did, where the Buu saga was 5 fights.
Yeah.
I don't want to repeat that.
Although I will say, since we're going to be going through Super and probably be going through all of the content and we can tone down Z a little bit.
Yeah,
we've all played through the. It's like all of us Dragon Ball fans. We've played the Budokai games. We've played Tenkaichi. We've all played Xenoverse. We've played all of this. We've played through this story dozens of times.
Right.
So it's like there's aspects of it that could definitely be kind of toned down.
Mm-hmm.
Like particularly like Namek and Frieza saga. Usually in like Tenkaichi and 2, and I think Xenoverse 2, that's a long section.
It is.
It's a fairly long section of the show
Story,
and everything, but we can kind of tone that down, hit some high points, move on.
Right.
Now, do you think we might get something kind of like Fighters, where they tack on their own kind of like new characters, a little bit of new story or something? Or do you think we're strictly going through?
I feel like it's going to be strictly going through. As much as I would love to see like a little bit of an original story, something like you get in Xenoverse or Xenoverse 2. Granted, yes, I understand we're going to the Dragon Ball story, but we're also living our own original story. As much as I would love to see something original with those two, or like Fighters or something, I think it will just be going through the story. Because I think even Bandai is fully aware that like the big draw to this is just the huge fighting aspect, the huge roster aspect to it. Like they're fully aware of that's what people love about these games.
Yeah,
I mean, people still mod the third one to this day and play.
Yeah, that's kind of my assumption and my hope as well. It's like we don't need anything special. We need a modernized version that goes through the full story.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want.
Right.
Which I'm okay with. I have some fears, and that mostly just boiling down to the way games are released these days.
I 100% agree.
I am afraid we're going to get a decent but less than what we want character list and potentially story, and they're gonna see dollar signs for DLC.
Yep, season passes. Just like Xenoverse.
I'm afraid of that.
It's gonna happen.
The difference is it makes sense for Xenoverse because every DLC was content that was not available when that game came out.
That's true.
For this, the content is there. They may just see dollar signs and go, well, we can release, say, 100 fighters in the original one, and then 3 months down the line, give them an extra 30 or 40 for $10, $15 and just do that a few times. I don't want to see that.
Right.
It's like, and I have a feeling that since they're going back to Tenkaichi and they know how excited people are, I don't think they would do that. I'm just afraid that somebody at the top is going to say, this is what we're doing.
Now, the best case scenario, in my opinion, is if they just come out of the gates with a large roster and then continue to add more. You know what I mean? That's best case scenario. in my opinion, because like I would be cool with that, you know, because I get it. I understand the where we are in the industry. I get it. I'm aware of it. While as much as I would love to have a game that has everything in it right then and there, I'm not against getting more. I mean, I understand it's the industry, but so like best case for me is come out of the gates with that large ass roster, like a Tenkaichi 3 style or bigger, and even release more later.
So
Like if they go what you want and they cut Dragon Ball, add Dragon Ball characters later as DLC.
see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm wondering how far into if they'll go all the way through Super right now. And
So up to Broly and Superhero.
yeah, I'm wondering if they'll go through all of that, or if we'll get something along the lines of, say, cut Dragon Ball, cut like the Broly and stuff like that, and then if that gets kind of like packaged and added in later. Say they did something along the lines of, we get a roster size of Tenkaichi 2, and then
Good size
through additional content and more stories and stuff through various of like the maybe of like movie characters and stuff like that, and not just strictly the mainline show stuff. And then through those we move up to a Tenkaichi 3 character roster, maybe further.
Mm.
It's like that I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's like that I'm fine with. I don't want to get a fucking 70 character roster with a decent story and then them be like, all right, additional character unlocks in like the season pass, or here's a DLC option that adds 50 new characters.
Right.
Like, no. Give us. We all want the big character roster, but I would be okay with us getting, like you said, a reasonably large roster, and then add on to it with a DLC or something after the fact.
Which I think a reasonably like large roster is realistic to happen, just on the simple fact, like we got to keep in mind when it comes to this roster, they count every transformation as a separate character.
Yeah.
So I mean, that alone makes up at least 100 characters, just with all the main characters that would be in the game for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean that's I mean, hell, that's just with going through Z content.
Basically.
Because, yeah, you have to be able to select. It's like, granted, you could pick base Goku and transform up if you wanted to.
You can also just
or you could just pick it.
Super Saiyan 2.
Yeah, Super Saiyan 2 or 3
whatever.
or something like that, and then go from there.
Yeah.
It's like that's historically how these games have been.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Do you think it'll still be an arena fighter like how it was?
I have a decent feeling it would be.
Because like one question that I was wondering is like, do you think they'll actually do any sort of competitiveness to this game? Because obviously these games are not competitive. They can be, but they're not.
I don't think so. Purely based on the fact that we should be getting a new fighters.
I agree.
It's like we should be getting a new fighters at like some point relatively soon. So whenever that ends up happening, which I mean, I don't know when it'll happen. I would guess sometime in the next year and a half, 2 years.
Right.
Because I mean, this year's kind of spoken for fighting games.
True.
Or like traditional fighting games. Yeah. I would say this would be an arena fighter. It's the way like most of the traditional Dragon Ball games, they're all arena fighters.
Yeah, at least all the Budokai Tenkaichis, you know, because it was 1, 2, 3 was, you know, the side scrolling, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, Tenkaichi is when it really opened up.
Yeah, it's like
I would say it's going to keep that.
I would assume it would keep it. It seems like that's what it'll be. And I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, we've been wanting a new Dragon Ball game for a while, because while there's a decent community that still plays Xenoverse 2, I can only go back to it so often and play it for a little bit of time before I kind of want something newer. And and now we're getting something newer that's not Xenoverse. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a good feeling to have that. And maybe with like, depending on how successful this is, we might get a Xenoverse.
Oh my God, please. I love the Xenoverse games.
But I would assume, since we're getting Tenkaichi right now, it's probably going to be like, that's going to be their big game to hold us over until they do a Xenoverse.
Yeah. I will be curious with the super content. Are we just going to strictly go through what's been animated, or are we going to hit the arcs that's in the manga? I will be curious about that.
I would. I almost want to say we're not going through the manga arcs. I mean,
until they get animated.
Tenkaichi would probably be the. It would probably make sense for them if they were going to do something like that. It would make sense for the new Tenkaichi game to do it, as opposed to Xenoverse, because Xenoverse waits for like movies or the show, new arcs and stuff to come out, and then bang, they're on top of it.
Yeah.
But they don't go forward with that because they're banking on like the movies and the show and that to make people interested to want to come back and buy the DLC. Whereas, because that's what's keeping that game going right now. Whereas this is going to more than likely be just pay and play, buy it, that's it.
Right.
And then, so if you're going to drop something like that, it would make more sense to do it in that fashion.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get any other, like, anything that's not been animated, though.
Two things that I was wondering your thoughts on, because with this, I feel like the game is at most 2 years away. Do you think, one, the first thing that I was going to ask you, do you think, one, that we could see a Budokai Tenkaichi collection come out? Because, you know, they released the Budokai collection where it only came with Budokai 1 and 3 because 2 was a game. We'll leave it at that. They released that back in the day with Xbox 360 and PS3. Do you think they could do the same thing with Budokai Tenkaichi and probably just do 2 and 3? Because honestly, while 1 is good, 2 and 3 are the games. Do you think they could do that to kind of hold us over until the new one comes out?
It all kind of depends on when it comes out.
Yeah, I think
if it's gonna be
if it's over 2 years away, I think it would.
If it's 2 to 3 years away, a collection would make sense.
Yeah.
Even if it was just dropped with like. Yeah, they wouldn't do like a remaster or anything on it. They just drop the collection.
I would just drop it.
Drop the collection. People,
if
like people pick it up and play it.
They should have the source code for it.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I would say that would make sense if the game is like 2 to 3 years out. If the game is closer than 2 years out, I don't think it's happening.
That's fair. The other thing that I had is like, do you think this game will include some of these other original characters from like Xenoverse and Fighters, like Android 21 from Fighters, Toa, Mira, Fu from Xenoverse? Do you think they could be playable fighters and characters? I feel like if anything, I feel like Android 21 would make the cut.
Here's the thing.
Anything.
Here's the thing. I would say that it would make sense. Like I could see them throwing them in. It depend. I guess it just depends on if they want to break the Xenoverse characters away from that genre, like that game in particular. I think that they might want to keep those characters in that series,
in that realm, yeah,
because it's like those characters are kind of specific to there, at least for now. So while it'd be interesting to see it there and kind of, but then if we did that, then we're breaking. You kind of have to break into the Xenoverse storyline and that to actually introduce them in a way that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it would happen.
I don't think it would either. Like I said, the only one I could see happening would be Android 21. That one makes the most sense, just from like the character standpoint. But at the same time, my verdict is probably no. I think they'll strictly focus on like all the movies and the actual like anime content and stuff. Which, you know, if that's if they do that, I really genuinely hope they go all out again, like they did with Budokai Tenkaichi 3, where it's like with Tenkaichi 3, like in terms of the Z movies, that was finally the game that included every single movie villain. So like I think the last couple of editions was like Dr. Wheelo from The World's Strongest. He was in there, so that was kind of neat. Really let's get in it, and even include I can't remember exactly how to pronounce his name, Hachiyak from the Plan to Eradicate All Saiyans special that never made it to the West until Raging Blast 2. Include him too. Let's really go all out and then go all out with the GT characters as well. Let's actually make sure that Vegeta GT gets in, because he just came in with Xenoverse 2 recently.
Here's the thing. It's like all of that, like those characters and that don't really get to see the light of day very much.
Yep.
That's all well and good. But most of us are just gonna be happy with Super Saiyan Bardock.
That's true. Yeah,
It's
give,
like
give us the
as
Super
long as
Saiyan
as long
Bardock,
as we
yeah.
get an appearance of that,
Hey.
90% of us will be happy.
Episode of Bardock, baby. It's animated. Throw it in there.
It's animated. It's great. It's like I'd anytime, especially like in any Dragon Ball game, anytime Bardock becomes a playable character, that's immediately my go-to for a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's go have some fun. And it's like,
I would assume they'll have probably 2 different Bardocks. They'll
Yeah.
have the special, and then they'll have the super movie one.
yeah,
That'd be my
I
guess.
would assume so. But yeah, no, like you said, it's like GT characters. WoW, kind of wacky and like
Shout out to baby.
GT's GT.
It's a
Everybody
thing.
knows what
We just like Super Saiyan 4. Okay.
it's like. We like Super Saiyan 4. It's like we like
the Shadow Dragons.
the.
were
I was
cool.
about to say the Shadow Dragons are cool.
Yeah.
We like Super
Cool
Saiyan
concept.
4.
It makes
It's like
sense.
it's like, yeah, just go ahead, go balls to the wall, throw them in there.
Yeah. Give me GT Goten. Why not? Give me everything. Like I want everything. Damn it.
But yeah, no, it's weird to have a game like this become announced because we weren't expecting it, and
100%
immediately all Dragon Ball fans are like, "Oh, here we go."
I
We
know.
can't help but be excited, and it's not because it's a new Dragon Ball game. It's not because of any other reason than the name Tenkaichi is attached.
Yes.
It's like that alone. Everybody's like, "Ooh, here we go."
Oh, it's time, baby. So long we've been waiting for this. Like the fact that this is happening for any non-Dragon Ball fans, you guys just don't understand how pivotal of a moment this is for us. This is huge. Never would have thought this was going to happen. Legit, never would have thought this would have ever
We've
been
discounted
touched on
it every year
We
for the
have.
past like 3 years.
Like there's just no way it's happening, and here we are. Do you think they'll go ahead and just add back the giant characters too, like how it was? I would say so.
You're gonna have to refresh my memory here.
All like the great apes. And
Oh yeah.
Because like
That's what I thought you meant. I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, I don't want to misinterpret.
No.
I mean,
just all the giant characters.
Might as well.
Yeah, I mean,
It's fun.
I mean, see, that's it. It's fun. I mean, it's enjoyable. Have Kid Goku go fight fucking Harudagon. Like it's fucking stupid.
I mean, that's if anything, that's Tenkaichi.
Yes, yes. That is so accurate,
It's
man.
it's the game that they have where they're like, where they can look at it and they can go, as long as we make the gameplay solid, we can do whatever.
Yes, exactly. Oh man, it's like we can just go all out.
It's like
No one's
make the
gonna care.
gameplay solid, make the story like in the case of like Tenkaichi 3 where they went balls to the wall with characters. They're like gameplay solid, story okay, characters.
Yes. Enjoy. Oh no. Man, like so overall for me, my biggest wish list is just I want all out with characters. I'm talking
Yeah.
across all 4 series. I know you're against the Dragon Ball part.
Well,
I'm all 4.
it's not that I'm against the Dragon Ball part. It's
just give me the characters. I don't have to go through the story.
if we're looking at it as a way, or as like we want to have the modernized version of this, I would say cut the content that we've played dozens of times. Not like cut it completely, but if we want, but trim it down to where we still hit the high points, but we're not like you said, where the entire Boo saga is 5 fights
Yeah.
or something like that. It's like your big points, hit those, but we can trim down some of the stuff where it gets a little long for some of these arcs because we have the whole of Super to explore now.
Yes.
And
Man, imagine the Tournament of Power in this game.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like
oh man,
it's like
so many characters.
It's like, yeah, cut down the Namek and Frieza, cut down the Cell saga and all that. Cut a few fights out of those and extend that into the Tournament of Power.
Right. Man, that Tournament of Power in that game is going to be insane.
Yeah. Cuz that's the other thing. You look at that. It's a lot of characters.
That is you're right. Like, oh my god, like my brain never even processed the Tournament of Power until now. That is so many characters.
Oh, that's like immediately I'm like, dude, Super's going to have a shitload of characters. Super has as many characters as the rest of it combined.
yes. Now now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, you're right. Oh my god. Yeah, just go. So yeah, confirmed. They're going all out. Okay, that's all I need to know. I would say out of everything, I would think that Dragon Ball is going to be the one that's going to be the biggest question mark. Because I mean, in my obviously Z and Super happening, that's very obvious. I would even say GT is locked in from just the
Yeah, I was gonna
simple
say
tease of
at
Super
least
Saiyan 4.
something of a little bit of GT's locked in.
Yeah, but then for Dragon Ball, I think something Dragon Ball will be in there, but it'll probably just be like Kid Goku and
Yeah, it'll be
Master
like
Roshi's technically considered Dragon Ball, but obviously
it'll be
he's
like
both.
yeah, it'll be Kid Goku, and you may have like younger iterations of the other characters.
Yeah.
And
Which,
then like some of the villains.
They've actually never done that. They've
So,
never
I
had
know.
a Kid Krillin or
So,
a young
that's what I was
Yamcha.
thinking. It's like
never
they haven't
done that.
They haven't had that. And the thing is, we play through Dragon Ball in every single one of these games, and we basically get Kid Goku and like maybe a couple villains.
Yeah.
That's all we ever get.
Tenkaichi 3 actually had some decent representation for Dragon Ball, including some very random characters like Devilman. Because it had Tambourine from the Demon Clan for Demon King Piccolo. Nam was in the freaking game from the first World Tournament. Obviously, Master Roshi. I think Kid Chi-Chi was in the game. At least she's been a playable character before. It actually had some decent representation for Dragon Ball. But like Kid Krillin, like a young Yamcha, young Tien, never been a character.
Yeah.
So I would like to see that actually.
Because that's the thing.
That'd be
It's like because it's almost a thing of why introduce those as playable characters when you're gonna put like Krillin, Yamcha, and them in there anyway, and like nobody's gonna play them.
Hey, I love Krillin. You be quiet.
I'm
Krillin's
say-
one of my favorite characters to play.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy playing Krillin. It's like some of the Dragon Ball games have made me a fan of Yamcha or of playing him. But those, it's like what is it? What was the DS Dragon Ball game? Attack of the Saiyans.
I want to play that game so bad.
Dude, it's good.
Yeah, I recently saw it at one of our game
I haven't
exchanges.
finished it because
I want to play it.
I haven't finished it because I hit a point in it where I had like it made me swap over to other characters for the first time in the story, or like it made me start playing characters that I hadn't been using in my party. So I was having to do a fucking tremendous amount of grinding,
Right.
which I kind of got through and got them leveled up, and now I'm like, just gonna put that down for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
That is such a fascinating game, honestly.
It's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's the game that's made me appreciate Yamcha.
Yeah. Yeah, for everyone listening that doesn't know what that game is, it's a turn-based game on the DS focusing only on the Saiyan arc. That's it.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't go anything further.
Yeah, where the playable characters are basically
Your Z fighters.
Yeah, it's your Z fighters, but you're the majority of it you're playing like Yamcha, Piccolo,
Yep.
and Gohan for the most part, and like that is the majority of your playtime, and it's just traveling around with them through the Saiyan.
Have you ever seen what the secret final boss is for that game?
I think you mentioned it to me at one point, but I've forgotten it.
It's Broly.
Yeah,
Like that's like the secret final boss of the game is Broly. Which the game is called Attack of the Saiyans.
I need to pick that back up and play it some more, but I have no idea where I was at in it.
That's a great game. It really is. That's one of the underrated games out there that a lot of
that
people
was
didn't
one
play.
that you mentioned to me, and then I don't remember if I ordered it or I found it somewhere.
Yeah.
And like a couple weeks later, I was like, well, I'm playing this now.
Yeah, exactly. But no, Budokai Tenkaichi new announcement, absolutely incredible, absolutely insane. Any last things you want to throw out there involving like your wish list for it, or worries or anything?
Worries kind of mentioned before. It's like only worries is they kind of trim it down to make use of DLCs. I don't think it'll happen because why would you make Tenkaichi if you're not doing it for the fans?
Right.
You could have made any other title. Wish list.
Everything.
It's like characters and a decent story. I mean, as long as like we said, as long as the action itself is at best decent, we'll be happy.
True.
It's like make it decent. It doesn't have to be anything complicated.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I mean the art already looks insane, so just characters and story.
Right. All right, let's hop over to the next thing we got lined up, which is Suicide Squad and Starfield. Yeah, so this is actually kind of funny because, obviously Starfield's the one I'm excited for. Suicide Squad's the one you're excited
Well,
for.
me and Zach are both were
Yeah.
both excited about Suicide Squad, and
Yeah.
this
And
game
it's like,
might not come out now.
are you worried about this game? Because are you worried about how this game's going to be?
Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
Like,
a
I
little
feel like
bit.
it's hard not to.
The problem is everything we've seen on it, like, looks good. But now I'm starting to worry if the game's going to come out
Right.
because currently it's been placed on indefinite hold.
It's just given a rough Q4 release.
Yeah, it's basically just been pushed back because of backlash. And now I'm kind of worried that I'm worried that we're not gonna get the game, or there's gonna be some like rushed attempt to appease fans that is going to compromise the game.
Right.
But I mean, this isn't a game that like I'm like this is gonna be the best, like one of the best games of the year. It just looked like a game that would just be fun to play.
Right.
And I'm worried that like them taking it back and kind of reworking stuff on it, like if that's what they're doing with it now, I'm worried that is going to compromise
The core game.
the core game itself, which I mean, like I said, it looked fun. I'm at this point, I'm just wondering if they're actually going to release the game, or if it's going to get kind of butchered down at this point to something that's not going to be as good as it looks.
Right. I think the game's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of when, and it's how much of that core game is going to be impacted when it's going to actually happen. I don't know if you're looking forward to this game. I feel like it's really challenging not to be worried about the game at this point. Just from like the leaks that led up to that big gameplay reveal, now it being pushed back with no actual release date, just a rough window. I feel like if you're excited for Suicide Squad, it's hard not to be worried right now about what this game is going to. Like, everyone keeps saying it's Rocksteady. I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt.
That's what
totally fair.
That's what me and Zach have been saying this whole time.
That's what everyone's still saying.
Because we're like, I'm looking at it purely from
developer.
Yeah, purely from the developer standpoint. I'm looking at the game. I'm not paying attention to what is around the game.
Right.
I'm looking at the core game of it, and I'm going, that looks like it's going to be this is the first game of the year where I'm looking at it going, that just looks fun to play.
Right, just like a jolly good time.
Yeah, it's like that looks like it's going to be fun and wacky.
Yep.
So but I don't know. It's hard to kind of look at it and not, like you said, not be worried about the game when it's getting pushed back. We now don't have a release date. We don't necessarily know what they're doing with it right now. So I don't know. Regardless of, because I forgot what was what was everybody mad about?
Well, first off, when it comes to like the one thing people were mad at, they just didn't think the gameplay looked good. Like that was one thing, but then the other thing is like the fact that you always have to be online, even if you're playing offline. All the battle pass stuff, like that's what everyone was pissed off about.
Even still, we live in the age of battle pass.
Yeah,
it's
unfortunate age, but it's the age we're in.
It's unfortunate that everybody wants to try to put a battle pass in their game.
Yeah,
but it's the age that we live in.
Yep.
And as far as like the game, it's a Rocksteady game. The gameplay itself doesn't always look the most entertaining, but it's a matter of how it feels.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not the biggest fan of like the Rocksteady games themselves, but in that aspect, not that I don't enjoy the games, I enjoy them to a point. It's like I play them and I enjoy them for a little while, and then I kind of put them down with the intention of going back, but I end up not going back. Not to the fault of the game, but it's just they've set the precedent for what they have, which I don't know. I liked what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I liked what I saw. It's it looks, like I said, it looks fun. I'm just worried they're gonna go back and like going back at this point and trying to change it up to make appease people that say they don't like what it looks or that it doesn't look fun or they don't like how it looks. I mean, if you're trying to go back and change your combat at this point, that's a dice roll
Right.
because it's like you may change something and it look more fun and then it completely changes the feel of it.
Mm.
Which, I mean, like I said, to me it looked fun to play. Maybe not necessarily the most like flashy for a trailer,
Right.
but it looked fun to play.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if when this game actually gets a release date and when they decide to actually show something on it again.
Yeah. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, the next time we're going to see something on Starfield is confirmed for June 11th. June 11th, we have a Starfield showcase and then an Xbox game showcase. That's a busy ass day to come. I'm looking forward to that. That is in the middle of Summer Game Fest and E3. Of course, Xbox would not be at E3. But they did say that they will be supporting E3 by co-streaming all the events. So I guess shout out to that. I think that's Xbox's way of saying, let's see how you do. I think it's like Red Pop, I think is the one hosting it, or Reed Pop, whatever. It's like, let's see how you do with this E3. And if you do really well, we'll be there next year. That's kind of how I read that when they said they'd be co-streaming it to support it, is see how it goes. And they may be a part of it next year. But Starfield does get released for September 6th. I'm really bummed that it's a Wednesday because I was wanting to take like a couple days off for this. The fact it's the middle of the week just kind of irritates the shit out of me.
That just means you take 3 days off instead of 2.
Man, I don't have the days for that. That just irritates the shit out of me. Which, this was...
Wait, did you say June?
For the showcase. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for the showcase. Release comes out in September.
That's September. Okay, I had my months mixed up there.
Which this, of course, is considered delay because it was supposed to come out first half. And I'm still not really worried about it. Like, when it was delayed last time from the November release, my knee-jerk reaction was me yelling fuck as loud as I could because I was really wanting to play this game. But then it's also like, you know what? While I enjoyed, like, let's say Cyberpunk, I don't want another Cyberpunk to happen. Like, just let it cook. Let the game cook. Like, put it back in the oven. It's fine. Now, is there worry? Not as much. There is a little bit just from Bethesda's track record over the years where they stumble out of the gates and then they figure it out, because that's Bethesda's track record recently. They figure it out, but they always stumble out of the gate.
I mean, if you look at it, everything they have out has very positive reviews on it.
But they stumbled out of the gate.
They didn't start that way. A lot of them started with overwhelmingly negative.
Yes. So there is some worry with me on that front. But I mean, like, I'm not. I feel like I'm one of the, from all the reaction I saw online of it being delayed to September, I feel like I'm definitely in the minority of like, hey, that's fine. Like, I'm cool with that. Like, I have no issues with that. That's fine. I'm looking forward to the showcase and the Xbox Games event. Now, one thing with this that I was wondering is, when do you think Spider-Man 2 is going to come out? Do you think it's going to come out in September and go head-to-head against Starfield? Because the original Spider-Man came out in September. Or do you think that they're going to slide it into November? Because that's usually like, the big release window is November, So with everything that's been happening with the Activision
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
if they've pushed back Starfield and they're putting it in September, that means they have something locked in or they either had something locked in or they have the potential lock in for the end of the year.
Right.
So I think they can't, or like it can't move back. I mean, you wouldn't want to move it back.
Well, in Sony's case, do you think they would try to go head to head? With
probably it's like they could
with everything that's been happening.
The problem is
like they could.
They could try. They could try, but at the same time, what's the point? It's at that point,
just
it's
a middle finger.
At that point, you're just trying to give them a middle finger. But then then what happens if you lose that scenario because people have been talking about Starfield for like years? It's like everybody's been like for the past 3 years, people have been waiting on this game to come out. Before that, it's like they just wanted to know what it was. But everybody's been waiting on this game to come out. Do you slap like Do you try to just put your cards on the table and go head to head, or do you go for the guaranteed sales?
Right.
It's like I would say probably go for the guaranteed sales.
My guess is honestly November. I've been in the November mindset for a while for Spider-Man 2. If it comes out in September, oh boy, I got a busy month between Starfield and that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like Starfield.
Hey, remember, you have to play Starfield. It's coming to Game Pass. That's your
I
policy.
I never said I wasn't gonna play Starfield. I don't know. It's like I'm not a hater on Starfield. I just have. It's like for me, this game is gonna be one of two things. And it's like I'm hoping it's a good. It's like I'm hoping it's what they say it's gonna be. I've said that. I have said that from the beginning.
You have.
I have. Like I said, this game is either gonna be kind of mediocre or it's gonna be game of the year.
True.
And it's like I'm hoping that it's a like game of the year worthy.
Yeah.
It'll probably be nominated either way.
Yeah, it'll be nominated as long as it doesn't completely fall
as
flat.
long as it
isn't Cyberpunk.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't do that, it'll be a game of the year nominee.
Yeah, easy.
I'm very hopeful that it's everything they've said it's gonna be. But and I mean of when it comes out, I mean I don't give a shit when it comes out. I'll play it when it comes out.
Yeah. Even if it got delayed out of September, I still wouldn't be fucked up about it, but I would be asking a lot more questions of what exactly is wrong with this game.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm not necessarily worried about when it comes out. When it comes out, I'm going to play it.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, I'm kind of done being super excited for games this year. Hasn't gone
3 months in.
Hasn't gone well for me.
3 months in.
Not really to the games themselves' fault. It's just more the mood I've been in when these games have come out.
I feel that.
So like I haven't wanted to play the types of games that came out for the most part.
I feel that I still haven't beat Fire Emblem Engage just because I haven't been in the mood.
Yeah. So it's like
I want to, but it's not right now.
So I don't know. It's like maybe by September I'll be super excited and ready to play Starfield.
Yeah. Or Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. And it's like Spider-Man 2, it's like at some point leading up to it, I'll probably, it's like depending on when it's released, I'll probably go back and try to do a playthrough of Spider-Man and Miles Morales. It's like I'll probably try to go back and do that beforehand, but I said that for God of War and I didn't do that.
Did you ever even beat Miles Morales?
I don't remember.
No.
I've downloaded and I started it. I don't remember if I've finished it or not.
Okay, it's a short game.
Yeah, it's like I know I've played some of it. It's just been a long time since that point.
Right.
But yeah, it's like there's only a couple games I'm still super excited about that are releasing this year. Or actually really there's one off the top. One off the top of my head that I know is officially releasing this year. That's Baldur's Gate 3.
True.
And that I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
It's like that I know what I'm getting. I've kept up with all the like showcases they've done. I've seen gameplay of it. I just haven't played it because it's like I have a co-op group that I'm going to play that with and we want to play it on official release so that we can get into it, play it and not have to stop.
Yeah, minute one.
Yeah, it's like
immediately
because it's going to be a co-op game for us, or at least the first playthrough will be a co-op playthrough. So I don't want to go into it and play it and then have because it's not the same if you go into it with all the extra knowledge when you play with somebody because then they're going to be expecting you to kind of lead the charge or if they see you hanging back for something then they know something's up. So
speaking of co-op, did you do any more Wulong with Zach?
He's been busy.
That's fair. He has. Oh my god.
It's like I've seen him get on his. I've had like my Xbox app on my PC pulled up, and I'll see him get on at like 8:30 or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna message him.
Yeah, no, he has been busy. I did download and play Wulong.
We did play some last Sunday.
Okay.
We played a little bit more. We played a few more hours, did a few more levels of it.
Yeah, I did download it and try it. Didn't get past the first boss.
How long did you spend on it?
I probably did about 20 tries.
About 5 minutes.
Basically. No, I mean, I played probably about an hour.
Yeah.
First boss is just that beast, right?
The Beast.
Yeah. That's not the first
What
boss.
are you talking about?
Like, there's like a 4-legged beast.
What?
Is that not the first boss?
The boss that we were talking about is like a general guy. He's got a
Oh, I didn't even do the first boss then.
he's got a sword in first phase, and then he grows big and has stretchy arms.
Oh, yep, didn't even do the first boss then. I thought like the beast that I thought was like some like level 16 beast. It was right there in the tutorial zone, and I thought that was first boss. It was one-shotting me at times.
I don't remember that.
Maybe I just went the wrong
Is
direction.
it a big cat?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, those are a pain in the ass.
yeah. No, so I didn't even fight the first boss. That shows how bad
No,
I am.
those things are still like I'm still not good at fighting those.
Okay, that just shows how bad I am.
Yeah,
Didn't
well,
even
I
do
mean
the first boss.
those things are hard to fight, and if you're fighting at level 16, one in the tutorial, because what's your morale at? Like 6?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're doing nothing to it.
basically. Well, if that's the case, I may hop back on and actually attempt the first boss then, wherever he is.
Yeah, I don't remember that in the tutorial. I may have just ran past it, or I
Yeah.
may have not, or gone a different
I'm
direction.
picturing the area in my brain right now, and I think it's just like there's a split where you like go up this way, you plant a flag, and you can like jump over some stuff, whatever, where there's fire. I just went left.
Yeah. You wanna go up and around, and you'll know the boss fight when you actually get to it because
Okay.
there's a flag.
I'll try it again then.
You run around a corner and then you drop down into an arena.
All right, I'll try it again then. Yeah, I just went left in that little starting area, and I had to fight that thing.
But yeah, no, we did play some more, and we did discover one annoying feature about co-op in that game, and it's the fact that at certain points when you do some of the story missions, you finish the mission and you go back to like this little village, or like it's I say village, it's like you go back to it's essentially a house,
Right.
and you go back there, and it's required to go there for like the story. But when you hit a point where you have to go back to there, it cancels co-op.
Really?
Yeah, it cancels co-op, and then you have to restart a co-op lobby because it happened like 2 or 3 times to us, which was slightly annoying that you have to continuously do it. We also discovered there's an invading feature where you can be invaded by other players into your game because
That makes sense. I guess.
we were playing through, and Zach noticed. He said something. I think it had a notification or something of an invasion, and he was like, read it across like the guy's name, and I didn't register it. I was like opening a chest or looting something else, and he's like, watch out, there's a red guy behind you. I turn around, and there's like one dude who invaded our game comes running down, and then we just put him in a corner and beat the shit out of him. We're like, dude, you stepped in the wrong lobby.
That's amazing.
But yeah, and then immediately after that level, we unlocked the feature. So yeah, you can invade, which basically puts you as like one of the like I guess people, like the enemies guarding the flags. I guess you take the place of one of the minions, and then you can fight other players.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not gonna mess with it, but
Okay.
the game's still fun.
Yeah.
It's like we had some fun missions. It's like we have started finding missions where they put higher morale enemies at the start. So like we went into a mission, and like some of the first enemies we encountered were those big cats with like morale 10, and we're like, we'll try to circle around and come back to these.
Yeah.
And then we found what was probably the intended path, which made it way easier.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then so far we haven't really come across another boss that's been super challenging. I don't remember which one it was, but we fought one last Sunday that took us a few tries to beat, but it wasn't. And it wasn't because it was necessarily hard. It was because it was annoying.
Right.
But even then, it's like we haven't had too much trouble playing it, and still that game is very fun when you get into the co-op feature of it. And then for people that like that type of game, they're probably just enjoying it in general.
Right.
But
Probably having a blast.
But yeah, for me, it's fun as a co-op game.
Never playing it solo.
No.
Yep.
No. I thought about it a little bit because I kind of wanted to play it this week, and I was like, not playing it without Zach.
That's fair.
But yeah.
What else have you been up to? I know you said you wanted to chat about something.
Oh, I saw this got announced this week. Game I've talked about a few times, Celasta Crown of the Magister.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a turn-based RPG game, is getting another DLC that was announced this week. I do not know the name of it, but it's adding in a campaign extension going from levels 12 to 16, I believe, which extends the story of the main campaign, which will be great because I have a bunch of save files from different times I've played through that campaign with various different parties, so it'll be fun to go back and do that with those characters. But they're also adding in I don't remember both new races, but they're adding in Tiefling and something else, might be Gnome, as like new races to pick from. So, and then they always do a bunch of like adjustments and updates and stuff with the DLC patches as well. But yeah, that'll be fun because it's like now we have, with the previous DLCs that came out, I believe we have all the classes because it's Celasta is based off of the D&D rule set adapted for the game. So with all the DLCs, we now have I believe we have all the classes. We have a bunch of races now, and a couple campaigns to play. And then this one is extending the base campaign to give it a conclusion. Because it kind of just, if you haven't played through the main campaign, it's kind of lackluster in the ending. It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel finished,
right?
In a sense, it's fun, but it kind of just felt like it ends.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see what they've got for the finale of it. I'm excited for it. Because one of the DLC campaigns I haven't actually played through because I was gonna try to play co-op with it, which they have co-op, but the game wasn't initially created with co-op in mind, so it's very buggy. But they said the new the extension of the campaign will be able to be played co-op, so I'm assuming they're going to be implementing a bunch more co-op fixes as well. Because there's every time we've tried to do it, we have a bunch of desync issues desync and disconnection issues, which has been frustrating because we would like to play it co-op, but also, I mean, this is one of the games where I don't mind playing through it by myself because I very much enjoy it.
Right.
So yeah, it is exciting because I did not think they were adding more DLC at this point. I thought the last DLC was the last one they were doing. So it was a nice surprise for me. So it'll be fun to play it when it comes out because, like I said, we get 2 new races as well. So that means I got to make some new characters when it comes out.
And what was the release date?
I don't know off the top of my head. I can probably find it though.
Okay, all right. Shout out to that though. It's always nice to see that random pleasant surprise, for a game that you really enjoy or whatever the case is, where it just gets random extra new content when you thought the game was like long gone, long dead, no more is happening, and it's like boom, here's this. Like, oh well, that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I've got nothing else personally. If you're ready to hit the weekly wrap up, after you get that date.
I don't think we have a date in particular right now, but it is for May 2023, so a few months out.
There you go.
A few months out for that, and yeah, the campaign will be an extension that goes from 10 to 16.
So you'll be busy playing that, and I'll be busy playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, I will. I mean, especially leading up to that, I'll probably. It's like because I have the second campaign that I need to actually play through, so I'll probably make a party, play it through the main campaign of it to get used to the characters, and then play them in the secondary campaign. I still haven't actually played three of the classes.
Mhm.
I have parties made for them and campaigns started for them. I just didn't play them yet.
Right.
So yeah, I will 100% be putting about probably another 80, 90 hours into Solasta in the coming months.
Oh man, Jesus.
I mean, it was on Game Pass. It might still be on Game Pass, but yeah, I went from like no time put into that game to like 80 hours put in like very quickly
Right.
because I enjoy it so much.
Yeah. Great game.
Yeah, it's great. It's not. It's like the story itself is kind of whatever, but
Yeah.
it's the gameplay itself and the fact that you make the characters and like play through it like that because that's the fun of it's essentially the fun of like a D&D campaign, the collection of characters and classes that you pick or what are kind of what make the challenge of the game.
All right. Well, let's hit the weekly wrap up. It is a little bit on the smaller side this week, but the first thing that we've got lined up for the weekly wrap up is kind of the biggest thing. It's another update on the Sony versus Microsoft stuff, just because I thought this one was hilarious and just really goes into like, okay, this is just sounding pathetic at this point. So I've got multiple points that's come out throughout this week alone. The first one is Microsoft has dismissed suggestions that Game Pass will go up after the merger is complete. I know it's been a question for a little while now. Microsoft also says that it will allow Call of Duty on PlayStation Plus day one for 10 years. It's part of the contract they worked up. They also guarantee content and quality for the Xbox and PlayStation version after recent accusations from Sony that they believe the PlayStation version would be lacking compared to Xbox to try to steer people away from PlayStation. Microsoft also believes they can get Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 to run natively on Switch. Ha! Would love to see that.
Yeah, that's not fucking happening.
Would love to see that, but they said they could do it. Do it. I would love to see it. And the last one, which I thought was hysterical. According to Activision Blizzard executive Lulu Cheng, Jim Ryan said in a meeting February 21st, I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger. This is just pathetic and petty at this point. From the saying that, oh, you're going to release a version on our console that's not as great as yours, and saying that, like, bro, this is just sad at this point.
Well,
it's been sad. But this is like aggressive.
I mean,
sad.
all it is like this statement, like basically being shown that I don't care what you offer. I just don't want you to have this.
Yes.
Is just like we already were. Everybody's already been laughing at the accusations and like the arguments brought up because it's like you have no ground to stand on. You have paid more money than any other company to not put the game on certain or like not put it on certain consoles or to not put it on Game Pass. You've paid so much extra money to get additional content for your system.
Early access content.
It's like, to get either exclusive content or limited time exclusive content to your system. And it's like, you're just the fact that you've been shown now to not actually have any care about a deal and you're just being petty about it. We already all knew it. Now it's confirmed.
Yeah.
It's like we already knew that's what you were doing, but it's like, come on. I will say it is refreshing to see that these people in such high positions are just as petty as us.
Yes. That is so true.
It's like it's funny to see that because that's just someone at the top going, he has that. I don't want him to have. It's like he's getting that. I don't want him to have that. I'm gonna tell mom. Basically what it is.
It is. I feel like PlayStation and Sony's gonna be better off when Jim Ryan retires. That's my mindset.
It's like it's like if man, Sony, you've been so successful for the past 10 years.
Yep.
Just quiet down a little bit, man.
I know.
It's like quiet down. It's like you're demolishing them in the gaming space to this day still.
Yep.
Just sit down. Do you really think Call of Duty is going to do? It's like obviously you don't, but it's like, do you really think that's going to bring them back into it, or like bring Xbox to be that much more relevant, or
Right.
like Activision Blizzard and that. Do you really think that's going to do a whole lot? It's like, yeah, they're going to get an influx of stuff on Game Pass, but that's about it.
Yeah. And it's funny. One thing that I saw as well from Tom Henderson, a guy that we use quite a bit, Insider, created Insider Gaming, the website. He recently talked about, and he gave a lot of screenshots from the articles and stuff involving this, where a lot of these articles is Sony worried about what Game Pass will become when this deal is done and stuff. But then Tom Henderson turned around and said, "Hey, what happened like from just literally a couple months ago where Jim Ryan was just like, we've sold more PlayStation 5s than they have subscribers, and they've been doing Game Pass for like 5 to 7 years." And Tom Henderson's like, "I've got receipts on that too." It's like you got a complete flip of the script now, where before you said Game Pass wasn't a threat, but now you're acting like it's a threat. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's so true.
Also, Sony, fuck off. Game Pass is awesome.
True.
Stop fucking with it.
Game Pass is great, man. Don't be mad at Xbox. They make a better service than you. Like, PlayStation Now sucked. PlayStation Plus, like the extra tier, is fine, but the premium is still dog shit. Like, don't be mad at them because you can't do it right.
Put it this way, it's like I don't even have my PlayStation Plus subscription anymore.
I don't
I
either.
canceled it like 7 months ago.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
It's like when it was, it's like before like any price changes, before they tried to integrate all their systems to make it more like Game Pass but worse. It's like it was great. You paid a little bit of, it's like you paid like $10 or $12 a month. You got 2 free games. Granted, they weren't always great games, but you got 2 free games. And when you went to buy something, you got like a 10% discount or something.
Yeah.
Just for having that. It's like, it's not a lot, but yeah, it was worth it at the time. Now it's like, it's like the games that get released. I mean, part of why I canceled is there wasn't anything I was interested in for like
long time.
6 to 8 months or 6 months to a year, really, before I canceled it. Where I'm like, I'm collecting these games, but I'm probably not ever gonna play these.
Also, did you see they got rid of that PlayStation Plus collection?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too.
It's like half the stuff. It's like they're slowly they did all this like merging and combining of different features to try to make PlayStation Plus better. And one, it made it worse overall. Or I say worse overall because to get the features you had to pay more, but then they've gotten rid of half the features that were there to begin with. So now you're just stuck paying more for a worse service. Which, granted, it's like, yeah, they may still be working on it, but until it gets kind of cleaned up and like a little bit more convenient, you won't catch me buying it.
True.
And that's nothing against that's nothing against PlayStation itself. I love PlayStation. It's like during the PlayStation 4 era, I know me and you both switched from Xbox to PlayStation primarily.
Yep.
But as far as their subscription service, it's leagues behind Game Pass.
Yeah, and now I feel like I've swapped back to Xbox. I play my Series X so much more than I do my PS5.
I don't know. I mostly play my Series S when I'm playing something with Zach.
Yeah. You're still mostly on PC though for you.
Oh yeah. It's like I have my PS5 for specific games.
Yeah.
For the new generation of games. I have my Series S for the new generation of games, but usually so far it's been like games for me I play on PlayStation, and games that I'm playing co-op I play on Xbox. And then, but primarily I'm on my PC.
Right. No, all this stuff that popped out recently involving Sony, it's just, like I said, it's just petty. It's just sad and hilarious at this point. Can't wait to see what happens next in this wonderful saga that's going on right now. Only got 4 more things on weekly wrap up. They're all pretty quick as well. First thing is the game RoboCop Rogue City had a gameplay overview trailer that was released. It's just a short little thing, like 2 minutes. I mean, I will say atmosphere, nailed it. I will say general vibe from the comments from RoboCop fans, everyone is loving it. They think it's awesome. I think it's a true homage to the game and stuff. I mean, I thought it looked good. I just thought it looked like you're going to be a little too much OP. You know, you are RoboCop, so I get it. But like, I'm just sitting there watching like, so what exactly like hurts me? Because like the person doing the gameplay, he's just walking in and just standing there while everyone's just blasting him. He's like, all right, you're dead. Okay, you're dead. Okay, you're dead.
Granted,
like, what's the challenge? Of
I
the
didn't
game?
watch the whole thing. I watched the beginning section of it, and I was like, "What's the game here?
Yeah,
Is the game like I walk in? It's like I walk around and I just kill all the like anybody that opposes me.
Yeah.
because that's what it looked like.
right.
It's like you walk in and you're God.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, this is a game I've had my eye on since they announced it. I'm gonna keep checking out trailers for it.
I will keep looking at it.
Yeah.
It's not anything that piqued my interest so far, but I will be more. I'm interested to see what it looks like further along the line.
We're just both curious.
Yeah,
It's
like
the
I
best way
want
to
to
put
see.
it.
I want to see what this game is.
Exactly.
I'm not excited to play it.
Yep. Next thing, we did have a new gameplay trailer for Tekken 8 showing Paul Phoenix.
Dude, that looks fucking
action.
sick.
I did not actually watch this one.
Man, it looks great.
Excited for Tekken 8.
I mean, I'm not a huge Tekken guy.
That's Zach's game.
It's like Zach's the Tekken guy. I enjoy Tekken. It's like I've played it casually like over the years.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Tekken 8's gonna be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's like the more they show on it, every time they show a character gameplay for it, man, this game's gonna be so fucking hype. This game's gonna be fun to watch.
I mean, like, from the moment this game was like teased and revealed, you should have known it. We should have all known at that moment this game was going to be an absolute banger. Where the dude walked up there, revealed like an 8-second tease, did not elaborate, just said "woo" and just left. No elaboration at all.
Well, that's
from that moment on, it's been a roller coaster of excitement for Tekken fans.
I mean, it's been a roller coaster of excitement because like Tekken is at least in like the fighting game world, Tekken 7 has been, I mean, the only thing, like Street Fighter's kind of caught up again in the past few years, but Street Fighter, it's basically been Street Fighter and Tekken have been like the top games to watch over the past few years. Granted, last year, I think it was Guilty Gear Strive was actually insane to watch. Like tournaments for that was very fun. But Tekken has always been one of the more exciting, fun games to watch, and has one of the most dedicated communities. And over the years, Tekken has gotten more and more and more popular, and so the fact that Tekken 8 was announced, everybody's excited for it because Tekken has gotten huge again. Combined with the fact that it just looks fucking sick,
right?
I'm not excited necessarily to play the game. I'm excited to watch this game when it comes out. I love watching fighting game tournaments.
Yeah.
Like anytime a new game comes out, I love watching them. Like any new fighting game, I just end up watching whatever tournaments can come around for it. Because usually right after the game comes out, they try to get the top players from the previous game, and they just throw a tournament together to see where they're at the beginning of it, and it's so fun.
And Tekken 8 is definitely going to sweep the world by storm when that happens. Last two things we got here. I thought this one was just funny, personally. Nintendo has revealed a real-life set of Mario's plumber boots. They are available at the Nintendo store in New York. I would imagine those would be very uncomfortable because they are exactly like as round as you would expect they would be as as Mario's actual boots. I just thought that was an interesting little thing. This is all lining up for the movie, of course. So if you're around the New York area, swing by there and grab you a pair for collector's purposes. Because that's cool, I guess. But I imagine those are so uncomfortable because they are literally as round as you would imagine they would be. But shout out to that, I guess. Last thing I've got here is there was a level 5 showcase here recently. They dropped in such a stupid amount of information on Deca Police, their new game, Professor Layton, and the new Fantasy Life, and a couple other games they got in the lineup. The big thing to take away from this is, for level 5 fans from this showcase is pretty much everything that they're working on, they are now bringing to the West, which in the past has always been a situation of some games come to the West immediately, some have to wait a while, some just don't come at all. So level 5 is putting a lot more focus on the West. So if you're a big fan of level 5 games, definitely go check out the information on that showcase because there was a ton that I didn't bother grabbing because I didn't want to. So that's it for the weekly wrap up. John, you got anything else?
Thinking of becoming a controller guy.
Love controllers.
I'm thinking
Love
about
controllers, man. Love
I'm
controllers.
thinking about. I found myself this week because, like I said, I keep checking to see if the Hogwarts Legacy controller becomes available anywhere besides eBay. I keep checking to see if it'll pop back up because, like, you can find the God of War one now. So I'm just waiting for the production line to catch up with demand for it because I want that controller. And then I found myself looking at Xbox controllers, and then kind of looking through there. Man, I want them.
Just want them all. Are you gonna leave them in box?
No.
Okay. That's the tough part.
No, I wouldn't want to leave them in box because one, I mean, yeah, you have a nice looking box, but as well, like I could also just put them on a wall.
That's fair.
I don't know. I was looking at them. I haven't decided if I'm gonna start trying to collect controllers, but
expensive hobby.
There's a few of them there's at least a few of them out there that I've been looking at, and I might try to get a hold of.
Yeah, there's some that I really want as well for the Xbox controllers. They just look so cool, man.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I use my PlayStation more, so like I want to prioritize the limited edition or rare controllers for it when they become available. But some of the Xbox controllers are just they look so good.
Yeah,
it's like I may not use my Xbox as much, but it'd be cool to have the option to use some of these cool controllers.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of these Xbox ones that I really want, especially since I've been playing Xbox so much more recently. I definitely want to get my hands on like a better controller because I'm still using the that one that came with the Xbox.
Yeah.
If I'm not lazy, I'll grab my Elite from my computer and stuff.
I don't even have an Elite.
I love the Elite. Elite's awesome.
But mainly because the reason I wouldn't mind getting an Xbox controller as well is because of the fact that I'm on Game Pass quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, and I'm probably gonna like try to move from playing all the games on Game Pass on my computer and actually sit back and play them on my console. Mm-hmm. So if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna want, because I only have one controller right now, I want at least one more. And if I'm buying one anyway, might as well buy a nice one. And if I'm buying a nice one, you might as well buy a couple.
I agree. I really want that recent one they released, the space one they did.
I was looking at it.
Yeah, that one was so cool. I want it. Oh.
But yeah, I've said before I'm thinking about it, but I found myself actually like looking through them this past week
and getting close to buying.
Yeah. So I may end up buying some nice controllers.
I don't blame you. I might be right behind you. Like once you pull that trigger first, you're gonna probably motivate me to pull the trigger right behind you.
I'll just start.
Me and you are both on the edge right now of this hobby. And if you're the one that leaps first, I'm following.
I won't say anything. I'll just show up one day and just have like a line of controllers sitting on the desk over here, and you're gonna go, "You son of a bitch!"
Basically. All right, let's hit the music. Let's get out of here. So, John, last thoughts on anything?
If you made it to the end of the episode, thank you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And we do these episodes every week, Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time. So if you enjoyed what you saw, or if you see this after the fact, come and check us out live. Thank you.
And make sure to also check us out on our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free, sign up $5 a month. We definitely appreciate the extra support. As well as we'd appreciate the extra support if you check out some Rogue Energy with our referral link down below, or some Agent Ink jerseys because they are sick. Join the Discord. You can come chat with us. Make sure to also follow us over at TikTok at Sparky3Official. I've been posting pretty much every single day for this past week, so shout out to that. Thank you for everyone that's been interacting and burying John on one of them. So anyway, until next time, guys, have a good one. See ya.
Yep.